back. So today's little program we're going to do is actually importing an image. So no longer does it have to just be a shape, but it could be an image that you found. Typically I'll usually use Google Images, something that I find online. So the way we do this is I'm going to actually use the program I used last, the one with the mouse listener. And the mouse listener, there was a rectangle, and the rectangle was what was getting drawn around the screen. This time what I'm going to do is have an image, and the image is going to move around the screen based on the mouse. So a few things we need to do, and you'll see me bounce between some other programs and the desktop shortly. First thing we need to import is image, and let's call this img1. So image is something Java created, so I need to import this class. It's an AWT class, so it imports right there. So that's actually going to be what the image is stored as, the variable. So over here I'm going to copy and paste this. I normally don't memorize this. So once I get it into one program, I copy and paste. So here's what's happening. Okay, so in the public void initialize, what I'm going to do is it's going to be try catch. So here's where it's going to try to open up the file. And all of this will be the same except for two minor things. So you're always going to have capital URL, lowercase URL, that's the variable. URL is Java made class. Here's the URL, it says get document, and here's going to be the file of the program. Most of the time this is JPEG, PNG, and a GIF file. The GIF files sometimes don't always work. I'd watch out for that. You have to pay attention to this PNG file. So let me delete that for a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to search ducks. And I'll pull up the images. Find the nicest little duck I can find. This little duck here will do. And what I do is I hit view image. View image, a rather large image of the duck. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this image and I'm going to drag it over onto the desktop. And now I'm going to close this image. I don't need this image anymore because now I have it on the desktop. Now this image, if you double click on it, it opens up, it says baby duck wallpaper.jpg. Now we could alter this a little, and one of the ways, and thankfully somebody in the class showed this today, is in the tools you could do adjust size. And you could adjust the size and the width. That's 1,280 pixels. Normally we make it 800 pixels by 400 pixels. So to make this much smaller, if I make this 50 pixels, it makes it proportional so that the height is 38, so it doesn't look, okay, that's a tiny little duck. I'm going to make that a little bigger. So I'm going to go to Tools, Adjust Size again. Let's make it a little bigger, 100, keeping it proportional. Okay, so there it is. And then what I'm going to do is go to File and Save. And it's saved as baby-duck-wallpaper.jpg. Now if I wanted to rename this, you go to File, Rename. I'm just going to call this duck.jpg. And then I hit save again. I always like hitting save. And then close it out. So it's saved right there. Although it didn't switch name. Let me see what happened here. It didn't switch name. Well, another way to switch name is you right click on it. You do get info. And it is locked. Right click on it. Get info. Oh, this time it did open up. And right here, instead of name and extensions, we could just call it duck. I don't want to type as much. Duck. And now it's switched it. So now it's a little less typing. So right here now, because I called this duck, we put duck.jpg. And then what this is going to be saved as is image1, because that's the variable I made on line 15. So line 26 and line 15 match up with the naming image1. Now to get this onto the screen, down here, instead of g.drawRectangle, we do g.drawRectangle. image, and in the image I'm gonna borrow some. We're going to do image, comma, X rectangle, comma, 100, comma, ooh, where did it go? Comma this. So instead of the rectangle, we're going to have the image there, and it's going to be IMG1. So it pulls the image in. It's going to put the X rectangle at the position here. I could actually, this 100, I could call this Y rectangle. And now when I click around this image will move around. Now there's one more thing we have to do. We actually have to bring the image into the folder where our programs are. And the best way to do this is on the left, you may have noticed you have all your files here. I made a folder called Applet, and all my applets are saved in here, and it's saved inside the SRC default package. And the SRC that stands for source, the source program. So what you need to do is take duck.jpg and drag it so that it wants to add to the SRC folder. And when you release it, it'll say, do you want to copy? And you say copy, okay. And you should see under the SRC, here's all my programs, and right there it says duck.jpg. Now a lot of people end up losing this, like it disappears and they can't find it. If that ever happened to you, you go to Window, Show, View, and you go down and it's called Package Explorer. And it'll be right there again. So now if we run this, there should be a duck on my screen. And now if I click around, it'll move around because there's now mouse. The mouse moves. Notice it moves to the top left corner of the image for the mouse. And there's the little duck swimming around. And that's how you get images into your applets.